Hello there ladies and gentlemen, I am the CHALL and welcome to another video. Now today, Wolverhampton Wanderers fans, although you've been beaten in the FA Cup by Liverpool, this news is a bit more positive as this goes in the stands to watch a miracle of a night. Not for the result, but for the different things that happened in and out of the studio before and after, or during as well. Pablo Sarabia has signed for Wolverhampton Wanderers. So before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to know this YouTube video. If you want more of these videos and these transfer videos, stay tuned, get some comments in. Let's get into this one. So, Pablo Sarabia. Now this is a £4.5 million signing, contract signed until June 2025. Now the manager and the player definitely have history together. Julian Lopetegui coached Sarabia in Spain's youth sides and the pair briefly overlapped in Sevilla back in 2019. There's a little bit of history there between Pablo Sarabia and Julian Lopetegui, and I think that kind of bond and I think that kind of past with each other could actually come into play here because they know each other, they know how the other one is, how the other one works, and that kind of friendship could really do in this squad. And you've got a really experienced player there who's worked with a top manager who would like to do a good job here at Wolves. So let's go through a little bit more about the particular player in question. In his final season with Sevilla, Sarabia registered 12 goals and 13 assists in La Liga. He netted a further 8 goals in the Europa League as well, so he's done it in Europe. This guy has 26 caps for Spain, 23 in the last 2 years. He's an academy graduate of Real Madrid Football Club. He's in the prime of his career at the age of 30. Let's have a look at some specifics around the player itself and the images that I'm going to show you in question. Thank you very much to Total Football Analysis. Credit to you guys for the images used in this video. So whilst his role has primarily been on the right, if we use this heat map from Total Football Analysis, and this was from his PSG spell, he does often drift into the midfield. Now, he's primarily on the right hand side. He has played on either flank before, so he's not just primarily a right-sided player. He has played on the left flank before in his career. You can see heat map showings dropping into the 10 role, into that creative attacking midfield role. So that tells you a little bit about what he can do. He can play on either flank, he can drop into the 10 if need be, and I think with his experience and his technical ability, you could definitely use him as a versatile number 10 if needs be. With the ability to drop into the number 10, however, he can exploit spaces and gaps not picked up by the midfield 3 or the striker up front. On the counter, Sarabia looks to exploit space left by fullbacks who have moved to fill the gap centrally. So when the fullbacks move a bit deeper and sort of move a bit inward, Sarabia has the opportunity to create and exploit those gaps. As evidence shown here by Total Football Analysis in the Lazio-Sevilla game in the Europa League. You can see there Sarabia in the circle, in the red shirt, looking to exploit the gap left by the Lazio player who's moved inward to man mark a 3v1 situation which looked like it's going nowhere. And you can see Sarabia moving into that gap, which allows him to create that pass in for a goal scoring opportunity. Sarabia as a player often likes to cut back on himself, inviting the defence to go deep as players run for him to pick out at the far post. So Sarabia is very much a playmaker in terms of creating crossing to goal opportunities, and that can be very important when you look at the striking options that Wolves have got with the likes of Diego Costa. For me, Diego Costa is very much a target man. He's very much that guy that you look for in terms of crossing the box. Obviously Diego Costa is a very technical target man as well, and I think that Sarabia could be definitely a player that picks out those spots in question. Now, it's seen on this bit of evidence from Total Football Analysis. You can see there in this La Liga game against Real Valencia that Sarabia really does pick out the cross. You can see 2 men running onto it at the back post, and he invites those defenders deeper. He really does. The majority of Sarabia's efforts come from out wide, and that's seen in this particular evidence. Now, this is his shot map. Now, this was a shot map, again, credit to Total Football Analysis, from Sarabia's season, from a particular season in recent years. And you can see there, goal on target, miss. You can see there's a lot that's outside the box, a lot inside the box. You can see some out wide at very difficult angles, but the majority of them is just around that D, around the penalty area, inside the penalty area. You can see a couple of deep ones there near the goal. So there's some range to it, but I think it ranges from really deep towards the goal back to outside of the D in that particular outer perimeter area. So Sarabia can provide a good perimeter shot. However, I think that Sarabia is probably more dangerous, creating those opportunities, exploiting the gaps from the fullbacks, and really being a real creative playmaker, even out wide or dropping into that 10 role if needs be to cover gaps and exploit defensive mistakes. Now then, another trait for Sarabia is that he can exploit the wing backs or fullbacks when they're tracking back, and that is again evidence from Total Football Analysis, where here you can see there, another La Liga game, they all track back and he can exploit those gaps in attacking opportunities. You can see him running onto that goal. You can see the cross coming in and him just running into space. And you can see him make that S-curve run through the gap where the defence has cut deep, gone inside and tracked back. And you can see Sarabia there with an open opportunity. Now, the one main weakness for me with Pablo Sarabia is this. Now, this is that he would collect the ball in a central area. If he's pressed, he would end up returning the ball backwards rather than exploiting space ahead of him, as in this piece of evidence on your screen, where there's space there to run inside, take players on, use that technical ability, and when he's in that one-on-one pressing situation, he's forced to play the ball back. This was in a La Liga game. This is just one situation. However, when you're in the Premier League, especially as a playmaking winger, and you're in that situation where, let's say you're facing an Arsenal or a Man City or a Liverpool or a team that has a known ability to press, I think Sarabia will have to really keep his nerve. Even as a 30-year-old, he'll have to keep that composure and that nerve steady when he's in a 1v1, 2v1 pressing situation and really working an opportunity. If he's got space in front of him, he has to utilise that space if Wolves want to play on the front foot. Overall, when you weigh it all up, Sarabia for me is an experienced technical winger who can drop into that 10 role if needs be, and Wolves have got themselves here a player that's been there and done that in Europe. He's been there and done it in league football in Europe, and you've got a player here for a steal price. Don't get me wrong, £4.5 million, around €5 million is a steal price for a deal worth until 2025. So I think the relationship between him and Lopetegui might have had an impact on that signing, and I think that Wolves have really picked up a bargain deal here for an experienced European talent. For the Wolves players that are starting in that right-hand side already, should I be worried? I think you should be worried. I think there's an opportunity to be worried here if you're a Wolves player on that right-hand side, because you've got an experienced player there who's ready to come in and take that shirt away from who's starting already. So I think if I was a Wolves player already on that right-hand side, and also in the number 10 role as well, I'd be trying to step up my game if I've not stepped it up already, because Sarabia is going to be waiting and ready to take that shirt off you. There we go, that is my video on Sarabia signing for Wolves. Make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, and for now, I'm the CHALL, ta-ra for now. Leave your thoughts in the comments below.